Hello! There we go. I tried to record this once and I didn't have my microphone on, so that was silly. So I just wanted to give a little update on the status of the present week in social media, or past week in social media. I can't remember which it was now. You'll notice there hasn't been a test episode in a few weeks. This is for a number of reasons. And some of those reasons are personal. I've had stuff going on, and there's not much else I'll say about that. It's all improving, so, don't worry too much. I'm gonna turn that music down just a smidge more. Second is the second reason is about episode format, and this was something that I worked on, outside of the podcast, and the different episodes always were sort of different because I was experimenting with format and content and length and background music and blah blah blah. So the Reddit episode I felt really good about. I think that length was good, and the most recent episode, I can't remember if it was Reddit or if I went back to Twitter for the recent one, but it was like an hour long or something like that. Like I was starting to feel really, really good about that. But the Reddit content, like I felt it was good. It was at a good pace. Using their like hot feature was really nice. But I tried to apply that to Twitter, and it didn't work. Twitter doesn't have a hot filter, and you can't say, show me the hot things from the last week. And so I work in tech industry, and I said, okay, I've worked with the Twitter API, and I've written some programs that work in the Twitter API, and I can write something to do this. And so I tried that. But it was not super duper easy. So there were two problems. You could filter it on a time base, so I could say, get me everything in the last week, but that only worked if you had keywords, and there was a maximum number that was pretty small for trying to get a week's worth of tweets. It was like in the small thousands. So I was like, okay, that's not super great. I can't get everything all at once. And there was another way where you could get things and have them be ranked. No, I'm not going to listen to that. I thought I said instrumental. Oh, I had clicked that button off. That's too bad. So I could get things that were ranked, but again, you had to search for a specific term, a hashtag, an account, or whatever. And so that wasn't going to work. And so then, okay, the next logical step is try to build something that does all this ranking and whatnot for me. And so, okay, fine. I can get the full list of everything from everyone and just, download that, stream that in and store it. And then build out the ranking and the chunking into the time periods. But that's a lot of work. And so when it came down to trying to build these things and whatnot, it weeks were going by and I wasn't making progress because there was other stuff going on and whatever. And that brings us to where we are today. So, it's on top of all of that, the last technical hurdle, was Twitter has very specific guidelines on how they want their brand represented in the public, in the media, and whatnot. And so, like, on top of storing all of these things, I would then have to create this presentation that is to their guidelines. And that's not something that I want to get wrong, right? Not a lot of people are watching this, but if the thing takes off, I don't want the Twitter to come over and be like, hey, no, shut it down because of X, Y, and Z. And so, just work and work and work and work. The upshot of the whole thing is, I need some time to evaluate what I have for options and figure out if I can build something, if it makes sense to build something, and whatever. If it all comes together, they'll absolutely do it. I do think this was a really neat idea, and I would like to see it, move forward. And the reason I'm so focused on Twitter is partially, it was the original influence. It was the whole reason that I had this idea, or, in the first place. And I think it covers a lot of relevant social topics that deserve discussion and distribution. And I could get that from Reddit, but it's full news articles a lot, a lot of this stuff. The stuff that isn't our funny, our GIFs, our interesting AF, whatever. You really have to dig into some of this stuff. Whereas Twitter, you get these just blasts, and it's really easy to go from 160 characters to, oh, I should read this whole thing, or we should talk about this whole thing, or here's an interesting video about something really cool that happened, in popular media, blah, blah, blah. And, Reddit, you get a headline, but maybe the headline's not right, and you have to dig into the comments, and we sort of explored how well that works sometimes. So, there are other social media platforms, but I don't think they present in quite the same way that Twitter does. And so it really needs to be a keystone of what we're doing. So that's where that is. In addition to trying to figure this stuff out, I have more podcasty ideas and other content that I can post to the channel. I actually just had an idea this morning that I'm probably gonna think about a little bit and maybe record some episodes tomorrow. If people out there want to see certain things, just sort of chatty podcasty things, I think they're really cool ideas, and I think it's worth giving a shot. So post a comment here, or follow me on Twitter and tweet at me there. You can find me on Discord. Previous episodes have all of that information. And I'll try to find something that works. 'Cause I like this stuff. I think it's a cool thing for me to do and to push myself a little bit and whatnot. So I wanna find something that works. So I think that's it. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. If I find a way to make this podcast work, if I find something else that really hits and takes off, I'll be excited for all that. So stay tuned. And as always, stay well, be kind to each other, and don't forget to come back for more. Thanks everyone. See you next time.